Hello, hello. You're tuned into this week's episode of the Steam Deck podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Radford, joined as always by my very good friend and co-host, Mr. Max Wright.
Ahoy, ahoy.
We are
Notice you
back.
didn't explain what the podcast was
No,
there
well,
for the
you know
listeners.
what? If you listen to the podcast, I feel like you know what it is, and you've
Yeah,
probably
that's
been
that's
wondering
that's what I
where
think this
we've
should be.
been.
Just more gatekeeping. More gatekeeping.
I like that, read the
Yeah,
description, figure it out. But also, this is the podcast all about Valve's portable PC powerhouse, the Steam Deck. If people wanted to hear that, that's what
lovely.
this is all about.
Lovely.
And we're back. We're
Yeah,
back.
we have had a little break off, haven't we?
We had a break. I
Um,
got engaged,
yes,
and,
congratulations.
Max got his car fixed,
Yeah,
and,
cost me about 600 quid, but I did it.
I spent a week in rainy Cornwall. It absolutely pissed it down the
Did
entire
it?
time. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Shocking.
Felt like
Lovely here.
we were in a shepherd's hut, and it felt like it was gonna, like, fly away at a certain
Were
point.
you sleeping in a manger?
I was baby Jesus,
You're crib
and,
for a bed.
I was away in the manger, and then the rain and the wind woke me up.
Yeah. I knew you were meek and mild. There was just something about you that to me screamed that is a meek and mild son of our Lord. So, yeah.
I am the Messiah.
Here you are. Anyway, speaking of Steam Deck.
Yeah, speaking of Steam Deck, well, this week we saw the release of a native version of Baldur's Gate 3, and Larian is promising that this is a smoother version of the game. It will run natively on the platform now, so it's a Linux build. So you should see a better frame rate, lower loading times, and smoother gameplay. We saw
Mm,
a similar thing with Silksong, that there's a native Linux version that is actually in some ways better than the version on Windows. It has things like reflections that other versions of the game don't have, and there's certain difference of visual effects. So there's the question that I wanted to ask is, like, is this kind of the end of Proton? Are we going to see more developers shift towards native Linux versions of games because of the popularity of SteamOS?
I think that's a big fat no, but the reason I think that is because of the context of this. This isn't like, a whole of Larian were like, "Right, let's pull our resources together and do this." It was one dude who was like, "I really wanna play this on my Steam Deck really badly." So he was after hours just working on it by himself. Eventually, Larian did get behind it, but I don't think every dev has Larian have been not lucky, but, like, very deservedly, uh probably got like a big windfall of cash from how well Baldur's Gate 3 did. Similar to how Team Cherry are probably just don't have to worry about anything because they've always got this constant influx of Hollow Knight money and now a constant influx of Silksong money. So they can sort of do whatever they want at their own pace. And I think Larian, being independent, also has that freedom. Not many devs have that sort of like no pressure from the people above, uh, and just a constant wave of cash coming in. So I don't think I think it'd be nice to see more native Linux builds. I mean, hey, there are plenty of games that you don't need to run Proton on.
Yes, Cyberpunk, for example, I know
Mhm.
has a build. I think Red Dead originally did have a native Linux version because all of Stadia ran on Linux. So every game
Did
that
it?
ran on Stadia had a Linux build that was built specifically for Stadia. So any of the games that were over there, like the Ubisoft games, like
Mhm.
the Assassin's Creed, that kind of thing, they've already done the work. They've just not released a version that is a
Now
native Linux build
that is a
on
shame,
Steam.
isn't it? I think. If you have the resources to do, or Ubisoft obviously has resources, but if you have the work's already done, sort of just release them. Like I assume that would then perform better than Proton
Theoretically,
would.
yeah, but we have seen some games like, Elder Scrolls, right, ran
Mhm.
better through Proton than it did natively on Windows because the Proton layer did some bits and pieces to kind of smooth out some of the judders, and that was primarily
Mm.
due to, like, the pop-in and the shader, loading in the background, that when it first saw it, it would happen. We've obviously got the shader cache on SteamOS that took away a lot of that stuff, but you
Yeah.
will still get that same benefit with a native version of the game. Um, but specific to Baldur's Gate 3, um, save games in the deck native build are stored in a different location, but they will sync up automatically to the cloud. So if you were modifying your saves or anything, they won't be stored in the same place anymore. So you do need to be aware of that if you
Yes.
swap over.
I was impressed that no matter what you do, you'll just pick up your whether you're playing on Linux or on Steam or whatever, it will just pick up
Or
your save file.
even on console, because you can sync between PC and console. So
Yeah.
I know that's what Pete was doing, was he was playing for the cutscenes and stuff, he was playing on his TV. He was playing on the PlayStation build,
Mm.
and then when he wanted to do more of the like quest stuff and the exploratory stuff, he would take that handheld and play that on his deck, and it was a really good way of playing it. Um,
On, Lies of P, I played it on Game Pass, and I ran a sort of a tool that extracted my save file from the Game Pass version. I put it in my Steam, where the Steam save file should be. I sort of replaced the Steam save file. That went into the cloud, put it up on my Steam Deck. It pops every achievement because I sort of, I'm obviously a massive legend, so I finished the game all the way to completion, and all my achievements popped. And I just like how seamless that is and how you don't really have to fight it, you know?
yeah, but I mean that's now I'm reading into this like Baldur's Gate thing. There is a slight negative. It is only for Steam Deck. It
Mm,
looks like they have on the Steam depot on the store have marked it only as Linux plus Steam Deck, so you can't play this version on Linux. I wonder
right.
if they're going to go back and add more compatibility for Linux in general, because there are obviously a lot of people that play
Yeah.
directly on Linux. Like they'll play with with a different distro of Linux, whether that's SteamOS, whether that's whatever they may choose to
I
play.
I wonder if, because this was a passion project for someone who just wanted to play it on their Steam Deck, I wonder if maybe, um, we're not gonna get that because they don't have the desire for that. Also, if this has been, like, specifically made and tuned for Steam Deck, is there any chance it's gonna sort of almost be like a console version where it's, like, specifically tuned for the PlayStation 5 but
I
isn't
don't
for
think so.
Xbox?
I think they already had the Steam Deck, profile in there that you
Mhm.
could turn on and off. So I don't think it's gonna go to that level where it's like, this is all you get, it's fixed, and this is kind of it. I think they will still allow you to tweak settings because everyone wants to play differently, right? I might prioritize frame rate, you might wanna
Mhm.
prioritize quality or, shadows, that kind of thing, textures, whatever it may be. Everyone plays differently, and that's the beauty of playing on PC is that you can tweak that. You don't
Mhm.
necessarily always get those options on console. So I don't think so, but I'm gonna try this because I was playing Baldur's Gate on my deck, and I think I might download this and see if it runs smoother, maybe do a bit of a comparison to see. But from what I've read, it seems to be that this does run smoother, and that the frame rate is a lot more stable, especially in some of the later areas of the game, like in
Yeah,
Act 3.
I was gonna say I'd be fascinated to see how it run or how like a comparison between the old version and the new version, specifically in Act 3, because I know that some people did get most of the way through the game and then they were like, "Okay, I can't play this anymore because of this." I
Yeah, it
know
was
that.
going down to, like, 20 FPS in
Yeah.
places. It was yeah, it was,
I remember Pete being very
sure.
disappointed in the performance on Steam Deck, so he just sort of didn't play it there as much as he would have liked to because he, did I say Pete then or Steve? I meant to say Pete.
You said Pete. You
Okay,
said
good
Pete.
for you. Um, yeah, I know that he was disappointed that he couldn't play it like he wanted to on the Steam Deck, and I think we've all had that with some games, and it's not all of them have had versions of the game that fix that. So,
Yeah, I
um,
mean, Stevie Aki over on, Discord was asking this week about, some stuff like The Last of Us and whether things like lossless
mm,
scaling would improve that.
I've seen a
I
lot of talk about lossless scaling this week. I don't know if it's just because the Linux version's come out or something, or if I know there was that Decky plugin, but I've seen so much talk about lossless scaling this week that I'm almost tempted to try it.
Give it a try, but like I said, like we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, I don't think it's the solution that people think it is. Like, it
Yeah.
does add that latency in there that if you're just using it to, it's kind of like you're just inflating the numbers, but it doesn't actually feel like that frame rate. It still feels crappy because you end
Yeah.
up with the latency that is running. Your controls are running at 20 FPS, but visually you're seeing say 40 FPS.
Yeah. So this is where I think like yeah, you need to be at something like 45 or 60. I'd say 60 is probably like if the game runs at 60 and it looks like, and it's 120, you're gonna feel it's gonna feel okay. It's gonna look maybe slightly smoother. But yeah, if you're trying to turn something that's like 20, 30 FPS to a 60 FPS, it's gonna feel sluggish. It's not gonna feel great. Monster Hunter Wilds is a perfect example of that, where you couldn't play that game without running frame gen. And lots of scaling is just frame gen for all. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about Silksong.
Mm.
I'm curious where you played that. I don't think you played it on deck, did you?
I didn't, but only because I wanted and I kind of not regret, but like The Switch 2 version was supposed to be 120 FPS. Oh, it was 120 FPS. What am I saying? It was, right?
Kind
I know
of. I
it was
think it was
120 FPS
on
on
docked, but
dock.
I don't think it was
I
handheld.
don't remember handheld. But anyway, I played it, on the Switch on my lovely OLED monitor, and it was very nice. And I don't regret that because it is, slightly more portable. It was the same price. There was no real like massive benefit to me to playing it on that, and it was also easy for me to chop and change where I'm playing. Quickly dock it in the dock downstairs, the dock up here, because I'm the kind of guy that buys two docks apparently. Um, yeah, are we talking about Silksong now? Is that the conversation? Because I'm
Yeah,
ready to
I'm
go.
because I know people are itching to hear your thoughts on it because you're a big fan of the first game,
Yes.
whereas it was in my pre-Elden Ring era where I was
Hmm.
terrible at video games. I'm still terrible at video games, but I just did not have the perseverance to get through it, and I couldn't figure it out. It was also before I'd ever played a Metroid game, so I'm curious as to what
Lost.
you think. It was lost on me.
It was and is, this is Silksong, I suppose there's a jumper behind it. It's been a jumper behind me this whole time. My game of the year. Like, there's no question about that for me right now. Metroid Prime 4 is on the way out. Hades 2 just dropped, which we'll talk about in a bit as well. But yeah, Silksong is for me it's rare that you wait this long for a game. Uh, First announced in 2018. I played a demo of it in 2019, so I knew the game was real. And then you hear nothing, and blah blah
Well, a
blah, and
slice of
you
the game was
worry.
real.
Yeah, yeah, that little demo or two areas or whatever that we played in the demo. I'll be honest, I don't remember any of the like what I played there. I don't remember playing the game now and going, "Oh, I remember that from the demo." It's just wiped
'Cause
from my
it
mind
probably
because it was
wasn't in
so
there. It
long
was
ago.
probably completely custom section
Maybe.
that they
I'm
did.
sure if we looked it up, that might not be the case. But anyway, it's rare that a game takes that long and has this much expectation surrounding it, and sort of like your hype builds up to this level, and then when it comes out, it meets and exceeds those expectations. And Silksong did that for me. Um, it it like it just did everything that I wanted it to do, and it did it very well. It was still challenging, but it was felt unique enough from Hollow Knight that it didn't feel like I was just playing Hollow Knight again. Hornet compare plays a lot faster and more nimble compared to how the sort of the night starts out at the beginning of Hollow Knight. While there are some sort of like upgrades that are pretty classic, you have your wall jump, you have your dashes and things like that. They were implemented in a way that felt unique, or not unique, but like different enough to Hollow Knight that you didn't feel like it was playing a clone. The death situation being different, the currency situation being different. It's sort of like how Hollow Knight was like, we're going to do Metroidvania, we're going to do Dark Souls bits, and we're going to mix them all together, and it sort of feels like you can say that's a Dark Souls thing, that's a Hollow Knight thing. Sorry, a Metroid thing. Whereas this very much feels like it's more of its own thing. It sort of evolved a little bit. It's got its own death mechanic, its own sort of currency system.
Do you think we'll see games mimic this and we'll be like, "Oh, it's like a Hollow Knight game," like how we have the
There's been
Metroidvania
so
term?
many Hollow Knight clones. There was
Yeah.
one revealed at the State of Play last night where I was watching this trailer for the game, and I was like, "This looks like it could be interesting." And then I was like, "Oh, this is just the Hollow Knight moveset." Of course. And I played a demo for a game called Constance the other day, which I've been waiting for a while. And as I was playing the demo, I was like, "Oh, this is just a Hollow Knight clone." And there's been a couple. There's like one about it was something about lamps. I can't remember what it was called, but again, I was playing it and I was like, "This is Hollow Knight." And it's Hollow Knight down to the sweep of the thing and the way that it jumps and the character's design. Bo Path the Till Lotus played last year. I was like, "This is very Hollow Knight." Hollow Knight came out and smashed it, and now you see a load of like, "Here's my indie. I'm a solo developer making indie Metroidvania. Please see this." And it's just, "Oh, you've made Hollow Knight again. Cool." Um, but I like Hollow Knight. You know.
Which is good,
Uh,
and I'm glad that Silksong kinda lived up to it because there's so many times where the sequel hasn't, like,
mhm.
we loved, say, Golf Story on the
Yeah.
Switch, and then Sports Story came out after
And
waiting
that again was a
so long.
long wait. Every direct is like, "Are we gonna see Sports Story? Are we gonna see?" Which looking back is probably shows what sort of like the beginning of the Switch was like. Do you remember being excited for Snake Pass in that first year of the Switch?
Yeah,
Um,
and that, like, Geometry Machine game and Fast
yeah,
RMX, and, like,
yeah,
I was playing everything there, but that was the
yeah,
same with the Steam Deck, like, I downloaded all of my old games that I was playing.
mhm,
The Steam Deck gave me that, like, and the same with the Switch. gave me that ability to go back to some of my old favorites. Like with the Switch, I went back to Skyrim. With the Steam Deck, I went back to like Fallout, for example. Like there was so many you could just go back and play
Yeah.
stuff that wasn't possible on a handheld before.
Yeah, the first time, yeah, any of these games could be really played properly on a obviously you could have your Win GPDs or whatever that were like £1,000. But this is the first time you were like, "Wow, this feels like I'm supposed to be doing this, not that I'm forcing this computer to be a handheld," you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Silksong is like if you there's a lot of Castlevania in this one as well, just from like a design standpoint and like the way that the second act particularly feels like it evolves in a way that a Castlevania game does. And I think a lot of Hornets sort of animations and stuff are sort of like well, I saw a clip where the when if you turn around while you're walking one way, she does the Alucard like slight backward step as he turns, which is very cool. Um, but yeah, like I think I played it for about 60 hours and I got to like 97%. I think I beat it. I beat Act 3 at 91%, and I was like, I don't know if I've got this 8% left of me. And then I just sort of like went around to all the little things I was thinking about doing, and then I thought, right, let me just look up and see if there's any bosses I missed, so I don't miss any content by sort of like being done with the game. So I went and sort of cleared up some of the bosses, um, and I think I'm going to go back and play a second time in a couple of months. Give myself a little bit of break from it, play some Hades, um, just sort of give myself another go. But I think yeah, they smashed it, and I'm very happy. It looks amazing on the Switch. I'd imagine it's gonna look and play amazing on the Steam Deck too. It's challenging, but, like, in a way that never felt unfair. There was a lot of talk when it came out. I think because the hype of the game grew so much, and people who maybe didn't play Hollow Knight at launch sort of got picked up in this hype of like, "Oh, I need to see what this game is," and maybe they didn't then go back and play Hollow Knight. Maybe they were just specifically waiting for Silksong because of all of the Silk posting and the clown posting in comment sections and things. Um, when the game did come out, people bought the game based on that, and they were like, "Oh, this is really hard." Maybe they weren't expecting it to be a hard game, and there was some talks of
I thought it was gonna be Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
I suppose what they thought, yeah. Let's make this easier, or like this game should be easy. It needs an easy mode. There were mods out. Um,
We had that conversation, I feel like, with every single Souls game. It's
mhm,
this game should have an easy mode. That's gonna make it
yeah,
accessible, and it's like, there's accessibility in video games, and to me, that's not difficulty. Like, not everything has to be for you. If you
yeah,
don't wanna play a game that's challenging and makes you frustrated at times, but then gives you that sense of achievement when you accomplish it, that I have not experienced it in a video game other than, like, beating a boss in a Souls game.
yeah.
Like, you just don't get that feeling. It's like that sense of euphoria of like, "Fuck, I finally
I've done
fucking
it.
done it."
Yeah. And it's always as well, you'll be banging your head against it for hours, and then when you do it, you'll like, I don't know, enter the matrix and just start like dodging all the attacks, and you do it perfectly, and you're like, "Wow, like I did that, and that was all me, and that was skill." There are ways to make these things easier. Obviously, in Elden Ring, it's just have a magic build. In um, Demon Souls and Dark Souls, it's like have a not pyrotechnic, pyrokinesis build, pyromancy build, sorry. And in Silksong, it's like have the right tools, use the tools to your advantage. And I think it's every time I died, at no point did I feel like, oh, this is unfair. The game's been unfair. It's always like, oh, I know what I did there and how I can get better at it. I just need to learn the pattern. I need to take a step back. I need to be dodging as much as I'm trying to attack. It's not a rush. It's not a race. It's a marathon.
That's the
So
hardest thing that it took for me to figure out with Souls games. It's like, don't get sloppy, don't rush it.
mhm.
Watch the
There's a
figure out the patterns.
Yep, the number of times I've died to there being a little sliver of a health bar, yeah, and I'm like, "I can end this now if I just walk up to him and hit him twice," and then in that time, I get, like, 3 hit and I'm dead. And it happened it probably I'm glad there's not health bars in Silksong because it would have happened to me. I would have lost my composure in that last minute and been like, "Oh, what's that? Oh," but, like, not really knowing when it's gonna sort of come to the end, you are able to maintain that level of, like, "Right, just think about what you're doing here." And it's almost like when I was, playing Sekiro, and I would, like, take clips from the bosses I've killed, 'cause I was like, "Oh, that was intense." And I watch it back, and it's almost like it's in slow motion when you're not playing it, and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
they're gonna do
yeah.
that, they're gonna do that. Oh, the Madam Butterfly's gonna throw that thing, so I would press this button here." But in the moment, you're like, "Oh, get that! Oh my god, I've got to do all of this." Um, But watching it back, it's like, "Oh, yeah, this is so" it's almost like slow motion, of like especially I'm not gonna spoil anything, but especially the final boss of Silksong. First time I did it, I was like, "No way. How am I supposed to be able to do that? I'm dodging every attack, or I'm trying to dodge every attack. How am I supposed to actually be able to get in and do a hit? They are damaging me." That's a singular they, just for spoilers reasons. Um, uh, uh, you know, uh, I it's impossible for me to do this. By the end, I'm like, "Oh, I just don't get hit. That's so just don't get hit." And I think it took me 2 nights, 2 evenings of, "I'll sit down and spend a couple of hours on this final boss." And when I finally did it, I was like, "Yeah, that felt like I earned that and I achieved that." And, um, yeah, very, very special game. Team Cherry deserve all the accolades, they deserve all the sales. Um, it feels, weird that it's over for me to be like, "I can't wait to see what they do next," when this has just come out. We're probably gonna be years and years away.
It will be many, 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 many years, like
Yes,
5 plus years, I would
but
imagine.
there's more Silksong to play for me. I can play again. There's Hollow Knight I can play. Um
Would you recommend people start with Hollow Knight and then come back to Silksong, or is Silksong? Because
Story-wise,
I know it's a
yeah.
prequel, isn't it?
No, no, it's a sequel.
It's a sequel, okay.
Yeah. So I would say story-wise and, like, just for the characters and the lore and I guess a lot of the mechanics as well. Because there is some stuff where you're like the map mechanic, for example, makes more sense if you know what you're doing with, Hollow Knight, where it's like you don't start with a map, you get a map, you don't fill the map in until you, rest, and, you can't see where you are on the map without a pin on or something like that, and there is a lot of that running through both games. Hollow Knight is just a fantastic game. So if you haven't played that, why not? It's £12.
But it's not
It's
like, say, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where I would say, yeah, play
no,
both of them, but Tears of the Kingdom built upon so much in Breath of the Wild that if you're gonna play one of them, go play
yeah.
that one, and because
You
it gives you
could
more
you
tools.
could play you could just play Silksong without really like you're not gonna be totally lost. You just as long as you know the sort of the gist of it. But Hollow Knight is a unique special game in its own right that I think yeah you should definitely play both. Are you interested in Silksong? I know you said, but
I am, but I never got more than 3 hours into
Mm,
Hollow Knight, and I tried it so many times. I think I must have tried it, like, 4 or 5 times because everyone was just like, "Yeah, Hollow Knight's great," and then I'd see, like, the reveals for Silksong, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I kinda really wanna get back to that because that's that special game." And it just didn't click with me, but I've not gone back to it since I played Elden Ring. But
mhm.
even then, like, I didn't beat Elden Ring. I never finished the final boss in Elden Ring. I never got to the tree or whatever the hell you're meant to be doing in that game. Um, so so
Fake gamer.
Fake I am a fake gamer. I'm the same with all media. If
Mhm.
I'm done with it, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And it's probably, like, maybe linked to ADHD or something, but, like, when I'm
Mhm.
done with a TV series, I'll just put it down and I probably won't pick
Yeah.
it back up. Movies, music, TV, anything.
So, as far as you're concerned, the movie Titanic is just a movie about rich people having fun on a boat. Is that
I can't get through it. It's so boring. It's far too long. I don't give a shit about the old lady, and a stupid
Yeah.
necklace,
Yeah.
and everyone knows that they both could have fit on the door. That's all I'm gonna say
Yeah.
on the matter.
She throws the necklace into the fucking water. Like, what a ridiculous anyway, it gave us a great song.
Also, she's apparently meant to be American, and I thought she was British. And, like,
Uh, yeah, no,
honestly, thought she was British, but she's not. Apparently, she's
Kate
going
Winslet
back to
is.
America. Yeah, Kate Winslet is, but apparently Rose is meant to be American.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was just a shoddy American accent she was putting on then.
Probably, yeah. It was before House came out and people realized that English people could do American accents, so, you
Yeah, oh,
know.
yeah, like Daniel Craig in, Tomb Raider, Jesus Christ.
I don't even remember that, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Go and watch it, treat yourself, because Tomb Raider is one of my favorite video game franchises, and I think you have to destroy it for yourself by watching the
This
movie
this
at
is
least once.
the this is
The
the
Angelina
yeah, I
Jolie,
have
Lara
seen it.
Croft.
I have seen it as a kid, but I don't remember it probably didn't recognize who it was.
It was pre 'cause it was pre-James Bond. It was pre-James Bond. He'd been
Yeah,
in Layer Cake, and then it was like this was his,
yeah.
like, 2nd big outing as Daniel Craig.
Remember the blonde Bond, like a blonde Bond, like, it was a big thing, it was an issue. Remember that?
Blonde Bond? Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
all the
Yeah,
all of
because it was
the
like, "Oh,
newspaper
he doesn't look like
headlines.
the books," It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, but Sean Connery didn't look like the books either.
no.
Whereas
No one looks like
in
books are pieces of
First
paper.
Light, he looks just like the books, and he's got the scar and everything. So it's like I'm very excited for First Light.
Yeah, me too. I still haven't watched that gameplay trailer from the last time we actually sat down and recorded, so that's good.
Looks
You just
phenomenal.
reminded me to do it.
There is so
Um,
by the way, Max is alluding to an episode. We
oh,
recorded an
sorry.
episode, and it was just before I was about to go away,
Mhm.
and we had an issue where Max accidentally uploaded the wrong file. We can go back to it. The content in the episode was stale when I listened to it, so we just haven't put it out. It was about like an ROG ally video analysis and some other bits and pieces. If people are interested, I can put it up as a members thing. I'll pop it on Patreon if people still really want to listen to that. But it is a stale episode. Just
It
let
is a
me know.
stale episode, and we get really excited about a trademark that doesn't exist. Like, nothing happened about it.
Yeah,
We were like,
yeah, we
"Oh,
talk about the
breaking
Steam
news!"
frame in there for about like 5 minutes. There's so much in
Uh,
there.
we love lost episodes, but yeah, that's that. Steve, have you been playing anything?
I picked Stardew Valley up again because it
Oh,
has been
yeah.
a good number of years since I played it, and there's so much more content in there.
When did you last play it?
Oh, it would have been like first when it first came out on the Switch.
Yeah, me too. So I've missed every update since then. Now they're on what, 1.7, and there's like all
Yeah,
this.
yeah. There's so much. There's like the stuff I'd not seen, like a bookseller, and I can go buy books, and you can like go on boating outings and stuff. And there's like all sorts of stuff. It's like it's amazing. Like you can buy now a book that tells you how much your produce is worth, so you know
Oh.
that when you sell it, what you're going to make for it, which is
And what?
brilliant.
So is the book just information when it gives you, or do you have to go to that book, read the book, and get the or is it like I've read the book, I now know this, therefore when I go into the menu, it tells me? How does the book
So
work?
you have to check it daily, I believe, and it tells you the items are worth that day because it changes on a daily basis. But there's so much cool stuff in there now, and I know that he's only going to continue to add more.
Mhm.
I say he as concerned ape, but he has now got a team, so
Yeah.
presumably there's multiple people that are working on the game. Um, so yeah, I wanted to go back to it. I'm thinking I might want to try modding it at some point, but
Mm.
there's just so much content in there anyway that I've missed out on.
Yeah, you might as well play the all of the vanilla content before you start modding.
Yeah, but all of the
Mods.
vanilla content's like 200 hours because of how
Yeah,
the game's
that's
structured.
fine.
I've decided not to bother with the community center this time around. I've just joined the Jojo Mart. I'm just gonna pay for everything.
Wow. Wow, what a fucking capitalist cuck. I
I
cannot
don't
believe
care.
you.
I honestly don't care. I'm making
Jesus.
absolute bank on stuff at the moment. I'm
That is
min-maxing
nice.
it to like
Yeah, but
crazy.
I see, that's the thing, when I played Stardew Valley, I was a multi-millionaire on the ancient wine trade. I had the maximum house, I had all of the, the space for kids, no love. I never found love.
I'm
So
okay
I
with
was, if
that.
anything, I was the capitalist cuck. Maru was
You know
not.
what? It's okay to be single. Like it's okay. You can be single and rich and happy.
We say as two engaged men.
That is very true. But not everyone.
Everyone else. This is like Beyonce saying all the single ladies while also having been married for a decade. Like we're saying, "Yeah,
She
king."
was she actually married when she put that song out?
Yeah, she's been with Jay-Z since, like, when did Crazy in Love come out? 2004? Let's see that. Hang on a minute. Whoa, Crazy in Love, 2003. Oh, fiddlesticks, as they say.
God damn it.
I know,
So close.
I know. When did she
I'm gonna
meet
give it
when
to you anyway. Yeah.
Thank you.
Here
I
you
was
go.
only a year off. When did he marry? When did she marry him?
When did he marry? When did
When did he marry?
famous male singer Beyonce marry?
2002. They collaborated on a game, and then they got married in
So she was married for a year.
2008.
So she
But,
wasn't even married.
excuse me, what year did Single Ladies come out then?
You just said it came out in
Oh,
2003.
I
Crazy in
said that Crazy
Love.
in Love.
Oh.
Uh, oh, Put a Ring on It came out the year she was married. So she'd been with him for 6 years at this point, and then while she got married, she's like, "Do you know what? Time to do a banger anthem for Single Ladies while I'm also."
Yeah, and then
uh"
she went downhill from there. I didn't like Cowboy Carter. I'm really sorry.
No, no, I yeah. I don't think
No.
I liked her Levi's jeans adverts.
Yeah, I'm a Sabrina stan at the moment. I'm
I know you are.
absolutely loving that album.
On repeat?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah?
It was on repeat. Now you pick out the choice favorites and you skip all the fluff.
Yeah, yeah. She talks a lot about the male gaze, doesn't she? So it's actually aimed directly at you, to be
It is
honest.
to aim directly at me, and I'm okay with that, you know? The song "When Did You Get Hot" is just entirely
Yeah,
about
that's
me. It's
yeah,
just entirely about me.
yeah. We should get someone should edit that. Someone should get a video of Steve from 3 years ago or whenever, when the show first started, and a video edit video do some thirst trapping right now.
Yeah,
This is an audio podcast, so maybe we should start doing it. Where did you get hot? There we go, I've done it. I've done the edit. What were we talking about?
Video
Stardew
games.
Valley. Stardew
Yeah.
Valley.
Well, it's brilliant, and I'm gonna go with a different love interest this time. I got married to Shane last time, and he
What, the
frankly
homeless hobo?
he's not homeless, but he was an alcoholic. You know what? I
Oh.
like a project, so it was fine.
Fix him. I can fix him. Shane, this isn't you, Shane. Look at me.
He did love me, he gave me, jalapeno poppers every day.
Damn.
Like,
Bet he
that
did.
man's like, can you imagine what his gut's like? He drinks all day, he eats cheese stuffed jalapenos.
What a guy. And
Like,
he's
come on.
drinking a load of well, that's the perfect alcohol food. That's perfect, like, beer food, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Ugh.
who's your love interest gonna be this time?
Not decided. Not
Yeah?
maybe Harvey, you know?
Yeah. I
Maybe
like Maru a lot. Her dad threatened me at one
wow.
point. That's how far into a relationship I got. Is her dad
I
she was like her dad was like, "If you got any intentions with my daughter, you better fucking stop it." And if anything,
oh.
that spurred me on.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
it would, wouldn't it? You know?
the only thing is she really likes batteries, and it was just like, what a difficult resource to try and get.
I don't wanna know.
Just like something that grows on trees, please. Like an
She's
apple.
using them for her Game Boy. That's what she's using
She's
them
a
for.
scientist and a nurse, so I'm sure she was using them for science and medicine. She turns out or she just didn't need me anyway, so, you know.
Jesus. Or I was thinking maybe Elliot. I've always been interested in his beach shack.
Is he the
Not so
sort of
much him,
like
but I really
Elliot's
wanna go in his beach
the
shack.
he looks like he's got long hair and, oh, that's so weird. I searched Elliot, the second option on Google, I was like, "Oh, I didn't add Stardew Valley." The second option, is Stardew Valley wiki, Elliot, so it knows. It knows what I was looking for. Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. The guy with the luscious hair and
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, makes up for
That's
my
what
lack of luscious hair.
you should mod. You could grow your hair like that. You could do it.
No, I
You should
couldn't. It'd have the little, like, the little monk patch at the top, and it'd be, like, coming
you
down the
just grow it,
sides.
brush it over. You should, um, mod it so that you have, like, the sort of, like, really, really sexy portraits.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, you know what? I like the original art,
Yeah, me too.
so
I
I
think
don't I don't think I
a
want to.
it's weird how, like, it's in the macro, it's beautiful, the game. As soon as you actually, like, start picking apart some of the pixel art, I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about this." Like, the colours look nice, as a whole, it looks nice, but if I'm, like, really digging into, like, my little character model, I'm like, "He's a bit ugly." And the way he swings
Oh,
his
yeah, I
sword.
don't like my character. I can
Mm.
never get him
But
to
the
look
actual
right, and the
little
side profile always looks wonky.
mhm,
But I've given him,
um,
like, the Sid shirt from, Toy Story, with a
yeah,
skull shirt,
yeah, cool, very cool.
so,
What a
you know.
game, man.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. It's like my little wind down at the end of the night now.
Nice.
Henry will have, like, we've been watching classic Come Die With Me, so he'll have that on the TV, and then I'll be playing some Stardew Valley while that's on.
Dear Lord, Jane, what a sad little life.
Yeah, that is my Dear Lord Jane
It's
is
it's your
my name on Steam
on
if you wanna
Steam,
find
yeah.
me.
Love Come Dine With Me.
It's brilliant. You played a little bit of Hades too, as well. Do you
I
wanna
did
talk
play a
about that next week?
yeah, I was probably I played a little bit in early access a year ago, and I was like, "I'll play some for the podcast." So I booted it up and played, like, a couple of minutes and was like, "Oh, yeah, I there's nothing to
You were
report."
too busy tucking into some succulent thighs
Oh,
that
I
you
was making
couldn't.
some very succulent thighs. They were delicious. Maybe we should put that on Patreon, for the members.
Max's succulent thighs.
My succulent, juicy thighs, with barbecue glaze. Um, yeah, I will report back next week then, fine. I'm very much looking forward to playing it. I'm almost tempted to also rebuy it on the Switch because you can do, like, a cloud save thing like you can with whatever that game is, we talked about earlier.
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate
Gate
3.
3. So I'm tempted to sort of, like, duck between the 2, but I don't know if the 120 FPS on the TV at 1080p is gonna beat the fact that I can do probably 2 at 240 at 1440p on my PC. So, I might just
Can honestly, be honest, can you tell
I
the
see.
difference?
Oh, what are you talking about in frame rate?
Between 120 and 240, is there not diminishing returns at that point?
Probably, yeah, but then, it's the 1080p thing I can tell when a game's, like,
Oh,
40
I can
40
tell 1080p.
over. Yeah.
What I can tell more is when it doesn't support HDR and it looks flat as hell,
Yeah.
which is the problem with me playing anything on the Switch, unfortunately, is the HDR
Yeah.
on the Switch 2 is absolute wank compared to the deck with its beautiful, luscious OLED screen
Yeah.
and actual decent HDR pipeline.
Oh, we love an OLED screen, don't we?
I do love an OLED screen. It's phenomenal technology.
I'm looking at your face on an OLED screen right now, and I'm loving it.
The rich, deep blacks.
Mhm.
My deep black dead eyes. I look
Yeah.
like a Funko Pop character.
Yeah, you're like a shark.
I sniff blood and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. Well, please let us know what you thought about anything we spoke about on today's show,
Pick a
including
topic.
including native builds on Steam Deck. Do you think they should come to Linux? Do you think it's the future? Do you think Proton has been a stopgap that's got us through it, but we ultimately need native versions of these games to fully eke out their performance? What have you been playing? Have you played Silksong? Are you going to pick up Hades too? Let us know in the comments below. And thank you all so much for tuning in for another episode of the Steam Deck. With a very special thank you for our Patreon producers for the month of September. They are, of course, Christopher Valens, Gabriel Hasmar, aka Sobi, Steve Stompy, Susan Still Likes Cats and Also Boobies, Voodoo Vic, That One Kid Nick, Ty the Dude, and Wakahula. And if you're watching on YouTube, please remember to give this episode a like, share it with a friend, click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're an audio listener, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. It helps get the show circulated. Max, anything else from you?
Nothing relevant.
And of course, let us know if you want to see that missed episode over on Patreon or as a YouTube member,
Yeah.
we'll pop it up. And if you want to see Max's succulent thighs, you may have to go to a certain website that rhymes with Schmonly Flans,
Brilliant.
where you can see
Very well
those.
done.
So yeah, we shall see you next week. Bye.
Ta